If you've ever been part of a B2B or a services-based company, you know that client onboarding is one of the most critical yet overlooked business processes. Usually the sales team will close a deal. However, that lead will just sit in your CRM without any clear next steps. This can lead to client dissatisfaction, and it really hinders your ability to start delivering value. So in this video, I want to go over the process as well as some of the tools and the stack I would use to automate this from closing the deal all the way to client implementation. So let's take a look. Usually, you'll have a lead come in through a form on your website. That lead gets assigned to someone on the sales team. The sales team meets with this prospect. If the call goes well, then congratulations, you got yourself a customer. Now, you probably want to send a welcome email along with an intake form to gather any additional information and schedule a kickoff call. Then you want to assign a team member from the implementation team and kick off the project. For this example, I'm going to be using HubSpot as our CRM. We're going to be using Fillout for our forms. We're going to be using Airtable to manage our projects. And we're going to be using Zapier to connect all these tools together. So let's dive in and take a look. So let's get started by taking a look at the CRM first. So in this example, we're using HubSpot, but this applies to any CRM you might be using, like ClickUp or Salesforce, even custom ones built on tools like SmartSuite or Airtable. What you want to do is you want to set two custom fields. The first one is going to be onboarding email sent, and this is going to keep track of whether or not we've sent that welcome email, because sending duplicate ones can look very unprofessional. The second one is going to be onboarding form submitted. We're going to be using this field to send automated reminders just in case the customer does not fill out the form on the first email. Next, we want to take a look at our form provider. So here I'm using Fillout, but this applies to things like JotForm or Google Forms. You want to customize your form to gather any information you might need. In this case, you can see I'm just gathering the contact information, the products they want, documents, and additional information. And I've connected my Google Calendar to Fillout, so that way whenever I send this form, the customer has full control and they can schedule a kickoff call on whatever time slot works best for them. So this saves me a lot of time on the back and forth. And another cool thing about Fillout is that you can set these URL parameters really easily. So these essentially let you pre-fill the form. So here you would just set the name of the parameter that you would attach to the URL. And then in the actual form, over here, you can click on the settings icon and you can set the default value to be that URL parameter. So if the URL parameter is there, it'll fill it out, pre-fill it for you. But if it's not, then it'll just leave it blank. And I'm not affiliated with Fillout in any way, but they also have a bunch of integrations. So this kind of eliminates the need for a tool like Zapier or Make.com. But for this scenario, we're still gonna be using Zapier just so we can make this as agnostic as possible. The third thing we have is gonna be Airtable. So this is gonna be our project management platform. So in here we have our project table, which has our project templates, which includes information such as the project status, the go live date, the customer, the primary contact on the customer side. Then we have the company table just to hold that information outside of our CRM, primary contact information, and then the employees table. These are the people that are available to work on the project and do the implementation. Now that we've set all those things up, let's actually take a look at the flow in Zapier. The first thing you want to do is you want to set a trigger that triggers every time a property changes on a deal within HubSpot or your CRM. Then you want to grab the information, so those custom fields, the onboarding form submitted, onboarding email sent, and then some primary contact information. And then we want to set a filter, right? So we only want to continue this flow if the deal stage has reached 1 or, in trial. And also the onboarding email has not been sent yet. Then in this step, this is where we create that pre-filled link for the customer. So we're gonna grab some of those fields from HubSpot, such as the name, the email, and the company, and we're gonna create this link that's gonna automatically pre-fill the form. So we do that, and a really cool thing, if you haven't tried this out, you can use this generate with AI in Zapier. And if your prompt is like kind of a specific, it'll give you the exact code you need to do this. So now let's move on to the email. So we got our link, we got the information, then we want to send an email to the customer. So we send the customer email here, the subject, and then in the email body, we just say, hey, thank you for doing business with us. Here's the link, please fill it out and schedule the kickoff call so we can get you implemented as fast as possible. The next thing is we want to grab that deal ID and we want to update the onboarding email sent field. That way, if this flow ever triggers again, we don't send a duplicate email. And then comes this flow. So this flow essentially takes care of those email reminders. So we have a loop that's going to run from 1 to 4. And what we wanted to do is like on the first 3 times, we want to send out reminder emails. And on the 4th time, we want to ping someone on our team to follow up with this client and see, where they can help to get this information. We set that loop. And then you can configure this to be, weeks or days. So in this scenario, I'll configure it to days. So it'll send a reminder every day. But you can set this to whatever interval you want. For this demo, I'm going to leave minutes. Then we want to go ahead and grab that deal ID and fetch the deal information because we don't know if the onboarding has been submitted. So we don't want to send this in case the customer already filled out that form. So we fetch that deal again. We get that special field, onboarding form submitted. And then we want to break out into 2 paths. So the first path is going to be, is this one of the times that we need to send that reminder? So I want to send 3 reminders. So I say, is the loop iteration less than 4? And the onboarding form has not been submitted. Then we want to send a reminder email saying, we appreciate your business. Please fill out the form so we can get you started. On the 4th time, so if the loop iteration is greater than 3, then I want to say, hey, I don't actually want to follow up with the client anymore. I want to send this to someone on my team so they can follow up directly and get in touch with this customer to see what's going on. Great, so this is the flow for the reminders and the welcome email. And the next one is going to be once the customer fills out that form, I'm using a trigger here for fill out forms. That's going to trigger anytime there's a new submission on my intake form. So you can see the intake form, I define it here. And then I want to essentially fill out this project information in Airtable for my team to get started on this project. So here you can see I'm filling out the projects table. I'm putting the project name, the products they want, the go live date, and you can specify all the information you need for your project in here. And Airtable will create that template for you for your team to get started. Then I fill out some of the additional information such as the company information and the primary contact information. And then I link all of them together, right? So I link the project, the company, all to the primary contact. And then finally, I send an email to someone on my team saying, hey, this new project just came in. Please join the kickoff call, gather any information, and then assign a team member to start implementation. Now I'm going to run through a quick demo to show you how this works. So I'm going to pretend that I am a salesperson and I just had a great call with a customer. So I come into HubSpot and I will switch my deal to deal 1. So this is going to kick off the whole process. And if we head over to Zapier, we can probably watch this in real time. Here we have it, right? So we have the first run that came in is over here. When we switched that deal to deal 1, kicked off the whole flow, respected the filter, sent the welcome email, and then it sets these reminders so that they're ready to go in case the customer doesn't fill out the form today or tomorrow. We want to send those automated reminders. And as you can see here, here's the reminder. So this is going to be the first reminder, the second reminder up here, and final reminder to our team member. Now I'm going to go ahead and check my email. So this is the email that the customer would have received. So you can see here, thank you for doing business with us, fill out this form. So I click on this form and it pre-fills information with that information from HubSpot. And then I simply have to, change any of it if I need to, if I'm the customer, select the services that I want, set my go live date. I'm going to say I want this by end of August, drag any fields. And then I want to schedule my kickoff call. So this gives me direct power to choosing the best time for me and my team So I'm going to select, let's do the call next week, and I'll say a 9:30 works for me. And I'll just fill out this information, schedule event, and there you go. That's done. And then if we head over to our second flow, we head over to the runs over here. As you can see, there's a run for the submission. So here we have all the information we submitted. We create that project template, all those records in Airtable, and then we sent out an email to our team members saying, project just came in, please join the kickoff call and get the team member assigned. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope this video can help out streamline your client onboarding process. If you have any questions or need any help with this type of implementation, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at lowcodesystems.com. We'd be happy to help you. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.